The consequences of victory. Silence filled the chamber. The massive Xel'Thar warlord lay motionless at Kane's feet, its biomechanical armor cracked, the energy conduit still sparking from the lethal overload. Kane staggered back, his body aching from the brutal fight. Every muscle screamed in pain. His ribs felt cracked, and his breath came in sharp, ragged gasps. Then he heard it, a deep, rhythmic sound, almost like thunder rolling across a stormy sky. It took Kane a moment to realize what it was. The Xel'Thar were watching. From the shadows of the chamber, dozens of alien warriors had gathered. They stood motionless, their glowing eyes fixed on Kane. Then, as one, they slammed their fists against their chests. A warrior salute. Kane wasn't just a survivor. He was a conqueror, a deal with the enemy. A new figure emerged from the crowd, a Xel'Thar priest commander, draped in flowing black ceremonial armor, his 6 eyes filled with something Kane hadn't seen before: respect. No human has ever bested one of our warlords in single combat, the priest said, his voice low and commanding. You're no longer just prey. You have proven yourself worthy. Kane tightened his fists, still unsure if this was another trick. Worthy of what? He asked. The priest took a step forward. Of a choice. The chamber fell completely silent. You may die here and be remembered as a fierce enemy, the priest continued. Or you may take your place among us and turn your fury upon a greater threat. Kane's brow furrowed. A greater threat? We are not the only force in this war, the priest explained, gesturing to the war maps. Kane's eyes widened as he scanned the holographic display. It showed Earth's invasion timeline, but it also showed something else. Another fleet moving through space. A second enemy. You fight for survival, the priest said. So do we. The Xel'Thar do not fear humanity, but there is something even we cannot defeat alone. Kane's mind raced. He had spent his entire life hating these aliens. They had wiped out his people, destroyed his homeworld, and now they were asking him to fight alongside them? But he wasn't a fool. Something was coming. Something even the Xel'Thar feared. If I refuse? Kane asked. The priest's mandibles twitched in what almost looked like a smile. Then you will die here, but your name will be whispered among my kind for centuries. Kane stared at the holographic fleet, his fists clenched. He had spent his entire life fighting against these monsters, but now they were offering him a seat at their war table. Could he trust them? No. Could he use them? Yes. Fine, Kane growled. I'll fight, but not for you. He turned his gaze back to the war map. I fight for Earth. The Xel'Thar warriors slammed their fists against their chests again, a new recognition in their eyes. Kane wasn't just an enemy anymore. He was a weapon. And soon, the entire galaxy was going to learn what a single human could do. Kane stood among the towering Xel'Thar warriors, their alien armor pulsing with energy, their glowing 6-eyed gazes locked onto him. He wasn't a prisoner anymore. He was one of them. Or at least, that's what they believed. Deep down, Kane knew his loyalty remained with Earth. But for now, playing their game was the only way to survive, and the only way to turn their power against them. The holographic war table still flickered before him, displaying a terrifying new enemy, the Voidborn, a species older than Xel'Thar, moving through space like a plague, consuming entire planets. They didn't invade, they erased. Even the Xel'Thar feared them. They are coming, the priest commander spoke. And when they arrive, no empire will stand. Not ours, not yours, only extinction. Kane stared at the cascading red markers on the war map, each one representing a world that had already fallen to the Voidborn. One of those markers was on course for Earth. For weeks, Kane trained among the Xel'Thar, learning their combat techniques, their tactics, their technology. He studied their weapons, learned how their biomechanical armor fused their bodies, how their warships communicated in ways beyond human comprehension. And all the while, he waited for his moment, his chance to turn this war upside down. Because Kane knew one thing for sure. If he didn't act soon, Earth would never get a second chance. The Xel'Thar had begun preparing their fleet, aligning themselves with Kane to fight against the Voidborn. But Kane had other plans. Late one night, deep inside the Xel'Thar command citadel, Kane infiltrated their data cores, accessing their deepest military secrets. And that's when he found it. The true reason the Xel'Thar had invaded Earth. It wasn't just about war. It was about survival. The Voidborn weren't coming for Earth by accident. The Xel'Thar had lured them there. Earth was a trap, a sacrifice to slow the Voidborn down, while the Xel'Thar retreated to safety. They had never planned to fight alongside Kane. They had only planned to use him, the same way he had planned to use them. Kane's blood ran cold. He had two choices now: stay and fight the Voidborn with the Xel'Thar, or betray them and warn Earth. There was only one real option. Kane activated the emergency beacon on his wrist, one he had secretly repaired during his time in captivity. A signal blinked across the stars. To the last remnants of Earth's forces, "I hope someone's still out there," Kane whispered, and then the alarm sounded. The Xel'Thar knew. The fortress erupted into chaos as Kane fought his way out, using their own weapons and tech against them. Blaster fire ripped through the halls. Explosions rocked the citadel, and Xel'Thar warriors fell one by one. Kane stole a warship, breaking through their planetary defenses, heading toward the only place that mattered now, Earth. For Chapter 5, please subscribe to this channel and like this video. Stay tuned on this channel for next chapters.